Well, hello again, everyone. Alongside Kelly Chase, I'm Darren Pang, and welcome to Blues Game Day Live here. It's the last game before the Christmas holiday break, and my goodness, it couldn't have come any better or quicker or sooner.
Or sooner for the St. Louis Blues. It's been a struggle, certainly. With all of the greatness we talked about in their game at the start of the season, it's been the opposite here the last couple of weeks. And certainly injuries can play part of it, but nobody cares in the league about excuses or the injuries because everybody has to go through it. The Blues right now, simply, Panger, they're just not getting enough from enough guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I would have to think that those players have been challenged. Effort's something that you can just have. You can have effort. And I'm thinking of a line with Steen and Stastny, Tage Thompson the last couple of games. There's good effort and good things are happening to them.
Yeah, that's the line. That's the line that you're seeing the effort out of. That's the line that's getting quality chances and also capitalizing. But you're right, and now work is a skill. And so they're going to have to get better at it. And I think it's not so much that they don't work. I think the work has to come consistently over an entire game, and it has to be built on day after day. And I think right now, St. Louis, they're not getting the secondary scoring. Yeah. There's too many guys right now, Panger, that have to bring more to the table when it comes to the secondary scoring. You can use Jaden Schwartz being out of the lineup, Jay Bowmeister being out of the lineup as excuses, but the reality of it is there's no help coming. So you're either in or in the road. You're either in or in the road, and if you're in the road, they're going to find Doug Armstrong is not a guy that's going to sit around and quietly just let this glaze over and hope that you get your game together. He'll find guys that'll get the job done.
Okay, let's pinpoint this a little bit because we know he's a noted goal scorer. What are there any things that you're seeing in Vladdy Tarasenko's game that can be greatly improved on?
Well, look. Everyone knows I'm not a goal scorer, but I did ask that question to Brett Hall, and he said to me, he's got to get to the inside. He's got to get in front of the net and have an ugly goal go in. He's got to shoot 100 pucks in the empty net every day and see the puck visualized going in. He's asked me, he said, does it make you nervous having to fight? I go, no. I said, you do have the nightmares about, really getting a licking in a building. And I go, what about you? And he goes, I have nightmares all the time. I'll never score again. Yeah. And he goes, and when I get in those slumps, I go fire pucks in the empty net. I visualize it going in. I don't aim the puck. I shoot the puck. And most importantly, I get in front of the net and I get in them. Let it bounce off my hip. Let me slap one in that wasn't supposed to go in close in the crease. And I think Vladdy right now is starting to aim a little bit. Yep. He's playing on the outside, trying to get the wrist shot to do the work for him instead of the legs. Because he is such a strong guy. When he gets to the net and bullies his way in there, Panger, that's when you see him effective Vladdy Tarasenko, because now he's back guys off. Then he gets the opportunity to use those wrists. And right now he's not getting to the inside. Okay,
let's continue on this line then, Chaser, because the game ended with Patrick Berglund moving from that third line up to the left wing with Braden Shen. It had enough. I think it had enough that Mike Yeo is going to stay with that for this game, which means Sobotka goes down to that third line. But let's talk a little bit about Berglund and his ability on the wing, maybe to make some plays, because I think. Braden Shen could really use a guy that's skating, and maybe this will push the pace a little bit of Patrick Berglund as well.
Yeah, listen, Patrick Berglund over there is creative enough. He thinks the game well enough to be in the top six. He's got to get the body moving again. He's got to get the legs into top six shape. They're not in top six shape right now. He's been out for so long. And you know what? It wasn't his legs that were operated on, so he's going to have to make sure that he quickly corrects that. And it's a hard thing to do sometimes when you have the breaks coming up that they have, but Patrick's going to have to dig in and do that. But what a great opportunity for him. And you and I talked about it last night. How many guys do they have on this group that aren't bringing that secondary scoring? And just to be, as we call it, clock killers, probably not enough. But, you mentioned some other names that you thought needed to be, giving more.
I think this is such a great opportunity for Dmitry Yashkin and Magnus Payarvi, to not grab a hold of this opportunity. You never know. It might slip away. We always have this saying that whatever you do, shut the door behind you so no one else can grab that, right. The opportunity that you have. So even when Barbashev's been in the lineup, it just hasn't been enough. And this team needs some help. They need some support. They're certainly getting it from, I thought Thorburn in the last game was really very, very good. Broadjack as well. I know Scotty Upshall wasn't happy with his game in the last one. He took far too many careless style of penalties and a couple of turnovers there as well. But he's a guy that's a heart and soul guy that'll bounce back in this game. Mike Yeo is likely going to make a few changes for this one as well. But I would think that Jake Allen gets back on the horse here. I know he wants to tidy up a couple of areas of his game as well. And then we got Carl Gunnarsson as well that looks like he's ready to return to the lineup. So all in all, though, I think long trip home, but the players know that this is the last one. Got a little bit of a break.
They need a win.
Have to have a win. Obviously, you go back to the game in Edmonton. Boy, oh boy, to relinquish a couple of leads and give up a goal that late. Hey, let's talk about that goal for a second. You being a forward coming back in your own zone. They're behind the net in Edmonton. And a couple of things. Is it just mesmerizing to watch the puck and not look around to see where everybody else is?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You're first of all, you're trying to chase a guy out to the backhand. Mm-hmm. So I thought that Dunn's positioning was pretty good. Like it was a play that just got between his feet and the post. So that's a tough one for him. But it's the guys around you that got a shoulder check. It's odd to have 5 guys all looking at the puck, certainly when you do an overhead shot of that.
Yeah.
Now, listen, the game's so fast. We all make mistakes. You can freeze frame anything and make it look good or bad. But the reality of it is that the Blues had 2 opportunities to close out the Edmonton Oilers, a team that's been dipping their chin this year a lot when they lose a lead or when they're in a game that's a tough game, and they didn't close them out. And teams like that, when you give them life a couple times, they're gonna beat you eventually. You know, as soon as you saw Draisaitl and McDavid on the 2-on-1, I said, uh-oh. And of course it ends up in the back of the net, and you could almost see it coming. But you know, I look at this team in St. Louis tonight like they're going to get chances. What they do with the chances early in the game is going to make a difference. Both Calgary and Edmonton, they had chances early in the hockey game. They didn't utilize them and capitalize on them, and it ended up biting them towards the end of the game because they had trouble scoring. So you get chances early in the game, there has to be a better sense of urgency.
Well, 2 terrific American-born players here in this game. That Brock Besser, he's a heck of a hockey player. He's a great athlete. He was almost last year on that World Junior Championship gold medal team that Tage Thompson was on for Team USA, except he had a wrist injury just prior to it. But this kid can flat out shoot it, and he's a competitive kid, and there's a lot of great rookies out there, but he's right up there at the top and maybe the leader right now.
Well, he is, and you got Bo Horvat that's injured.
Yep.
Sutter out of the lineup as well, and then they lose Derek Dorsett. So they're not having sympathy for the St. Louis Blues right now. Besser's certainly a great player. I think it's the young fella leading the Swedish Elite League right now is Pettersson, I believe.
Elias Peterson.
Yeah,
yes.
Peterson, and he's
going to be in the World Junior. Yeah.
Yes, and he's going to be a player for the Vancouver Canucks, who are at a different stage than where the St. Louis Blues are. So this is even more important to get a win right now. You got injuries from the Canucks, plus you got a couple of guys that, they're in the transition form of an organization trying to get younger a little bit. The St. Louis Blues right now are going to have to take advantage of some of those things.
Well, this is a game that you've got to dig in, my friend. You've got to pull on the same rope. Huh? You got to be all in with all the oars in the water. Is there any more I can use?
No, I think it's time to say Merry Christmas. That's all. That's what I think.
Well, to all our staff, which are great, and I know it's been
even
a tough.
Trevor Nickerson.
Yeah, even Trevor Nickerson. But it's been a tough grind on the road. But we're not complaining. We've got a great group here. We wish everybody a happy holiday, whatever it is you celebrate, and enjoy. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the game tonight. It's a late game on Fox Sports Midwest and on KMOX, that 50,000-watt blowtorch over there with Chris Kerber and Kelly Chase. And I've got Mr. John Kelly tonight as well, and we're going to bring it to the people, pal. We are going to bring it to the people. That's going to be our gift to you out there.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. For Kelly Chase, I'm Darren Robert Pang. Enjoy the game, everybody.